Hi everyone. I am Konasukawa. I'm from Kyoto University. I am very sorry that I will not be able to attend this special international colloquium because I will be in charge of admission service for the university this weekend. So sorry. So my presentation is based on a pre-recorded video. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Yeah, okay. First of all, I have to say thank you so much to Associate Prof. Archaeology, Humanities and Social Science, IIT Ghaggar, for kindly arranging of this special international colloquium. It's a great honor for me to participate in this colloquium. In this presentation, I am talking about Indus script incised on the seals discovered from the initial phase of Harappan period, an investigation of the chronology of Indus writing system. Also, I do not specialize in the Indus script. I do hope that from archaeology, I can offer a new and unique direction for the study of Indus script. Please consider this paper a derivative result of my research on the series. And this presentation is, based on my previous paper published on the International Conference on the Indus script, held in Mohenjodaro, Sindh, Pakistan in 2020. Okay, before starting my presentation, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the body of organization and people who supported my research work in various ways. Thank you so much for everything. I'm going to my presentation. Again, main aim of this presentation to apprise the various aspects of Indus script insights on the seals discovered from initial phase of Harappan period for an investigation of the chronology of the Indus writing system. Structure of my present study is as follows. 1. Previous research on the Indus script and aim of the present paper. 2. Chronology of the Indus script. Also, 3. Indus script used in the initial phase of Harappan period. And 4. Tentative conclusion. If time permits, I would like to discuss carving techniques of the Indus script used in the initial phase of the Harappan period, especially in the Ghaggar basin, as an appendix. If not possible, we will discuss it at another opportunity. Or please join us for a webinar talk organized by Humanity and Social Science IIT Ghaggar, scheduled for February 25th, where we will discuss various aspects of the Harappan series, including carving techniques in more detail. Needless to say, there are many important previous studies on Indus script. The Indus script has been studied from various viewpoints and approaches since the beginning of archaeological study of the Harappan civilization. Mainly attempt to decipher the Indus script. Furthermore, there are 4 volumes of corpus of Indus seals and inscriptions. However, no studies till date have much considered the chronology of the Indus script. For this reason, the present study focused on discussing the Indus script insights on the seals discovered from the initial phase of the Harappan period, to lead the better understanding of the chronology, the context, and the interpretation of the Indus writing system. Research materials for this presentation are basically the seals discovered in the site of the Ghaggar basin, such as Farmana, Banawari, and Kunar, etc. Because my research area is basically this region and almost of my data is from this area. Needless to say, I will also emphasize the perspective of comparison with the series from other regions. It's no surprise that we can recognize there are some variation with the Harappan series. This one, this series having a left-facing animal motif. This one, this series having a right-facing animal motif. And shape of both are also different, etc. This variation means regional variation or chronological variation. At this research stage, as a situation with few materials having a clear chronological position, there could be a lot of different view hypotheses. And the various view hypotheses must be synthesized in the final stage of research. In other words, I am not rushing to the final conclusion. In this paper, I will have this presentation with emphasis on the chronological variation, with regional variation in mind as well. Now, we have to take the result of Harappa and Farmana excavation into consideration for discussing about the chronology of seals from the early Harappan to the Mature Harappan period. Okay, on the basis of excavations at Harappa, the chronology of seals from the early Harappan to the Harappan period can be proposed as follows. The seals from Harappa period 2 are characterized by geometrical motifs. Harappa period 3A seals are characterized by a right-facing animal motif. Next, the seals from Harappa period 3B and 3C are characterized by a left-facing animal motif. Okay, on the basis of excavations at Farmana, the chronology of the seals from the initial phase to the later phase of Harappan period can be proposed as follows. The seals having a right-facing animal motif from the lower layer of Farmana period 2, corresponding to Harappa period 3A. Next one. The seals having a left-facing animal from the upper layer of Farmana period 2, corresponding to Harappa period 3B and 3C. Yes. According to the seal sequence from Harappa and Farmana, typologically, the sequence of Banawari seals can be proposed as follows. The seals having a right-facing animal from Banawari, corresponding to Farmana period 2 lower layer and Harappa period 3A. Next one. The seals having a left-facing animal from Banawari, corresponding to Farmana period 2 upper layer and Harappa period 3B and 3C. And there are few examples having some intermediate features. This example has a typical Indus type boss of Harappan seal, but animal face right. Next one, this one, has an early type boss of Harappan seal, but animal face left. Probably, there is some possibilities to place these examples between the series of initial phase of Harappan period and typical Harappan series. Based on those preliminary chronologies, the series from other sites in the Ghaggar basin, such as Kunal, Banawari, Villana, Caliban, Rakigari, and others can now be compared chronologically, typologically, to discuss their iconography, style, size, writing, and technology. A preliminary chronology of the seals, including the seals from the Ghaggar basin, is as follows. Stage 1, early Harappan period. Canal seal having geometrical motif mainly, and the simple cylinder-shaped boss on the reverse of the seal without the Indus script, corresponding to the seals from Harappa period 2. Next one, stage 2, initial phase of the Harappan period. Harappan seals having a right-facing animal mainly with the Indus script and the simple shaped boss on the reverse of the seals, which is shaped in a just square or bullnose square shaped boss without an inside center line, corresponding to the Harappa seals from Harappa period 3A and the lower layer of Farmana period 2. Last, later phase of the Harappan period, stage 3. Harappan seals having a left-facing animal mainly with the Indus script, and the boss on the reverse of the seals as a typical example, which is shaped in symmetry by an inside center line on the square or bullnose square shaped boss, corresponding to the Harappan seals from Harappa periods 3B, 3C, and the upper layer of Farmana period 2. So now I can propose that the Harappan seals having a right-facing animal, the seals of stage 2, could be understood as the Harappan seals of the initial phase of Harappan period. 74 examples of Harappan seals having a right-facing animal, namely Harappan seals discovered from the initial phase of the Harappan period, have been reported. There are a few more now. So, as for the details of this type of seals, I already discussed in my published papers. And I will discuss again them as a webinar talk organized by Humanity and Social Science IIT Gandhinagar, scheduled for February 25th. Please join us. Based on the preliminary chronology of the seals mentioned above, the Indus script can be divided into following two major categories because the Indus script is basically incised on the Harappan seals. Indus script used in the initial phase of the Harappan period, corresponding to the Harappan seal having a right-facing animal mainly. Indus script used in the later phase of the Harappan period, corresponding to the Harappan seals having a left-facing animal mainly. In the following parts of this presentation, the various aspects of the Indus script used in the initial phase of the Harappan period will be appraised. The Indus script used on the Harappan seal having a right-facing animal are restricted to only 71 signs as of now. Also, the number of letters will increase in the future. And the series of stage 2 shared common Indus script with a high percentage. For example, the series of stage 2 excavated from the archaeological site in the Ghaggar basin are characterized by common Indus script, such as a diamond-shaped sign, a fish-like sign, a spear-like sign, a dot-shaped sign, which is comprised of several dots, and a tree-like sign, etc. like this. This figures shows Harappan seal discovered from the initial phase of the Ghaggar, discovered from the initial phase of the Harappan period, share common in the script with a high percentage. I cannot decipher, but I can show you these specific pattern of the script. And those specific in the script are also used on the series of stage 2 discovered from Harappa, Parakoto, and Mohenjodaro, and others. Thus, it can be pointed out that those specific in the script were shared in a broad area, extending throughout this society, even in the initial phase of the Harappan period. The chronology of the Indus script has never been much considered till date, but based on more recent excavation in India and Pakistan, the chronology of the Harappan seal must be taken into consideration for discussing various aspects of the Indus script, because the Indus script is basically incised on the Harappan seals. Based on the preliminary chronology of the seals discussed in this paper, the Indus script can be divided into following two major categories. First one, Indus script used in the initial phase of the Harappan period. Next one, Indus script used in the later phase of the Harappan period. The Indus script used on the seals of stage 2 are restricted to only 71 sites. The number of letters is quite small compared to the number of letters used on the seals of stage 3. But it can be pointed out that those scripts were already widely recognized and used even in the initial phase of the Harappan period. On the basis of excavation at Harappa and others, now we could understand the chronology of early Indus script from the early Harappan phase to the initial phase of the Harappan period, like this sequence. The present study concludes that some aspects of the Indus writing system in the initial phase of the Harappan period were passed on to those in the later phase of the Harappan period, and rapidly evolved with an increase in number of the Indus script. Also, the data for this analysis is very limited, and there are some examples which should be carefully considered on account of their chronological position. The tentative conclusion reached here to indicate that archaeological approach also can contribute for the better understanding the chronology, the context, and the interpretation of Indus writing system. Even so, if it does not lead directly to deciphering as of now. The next main objective of this study is to re-evaluate the result of previous studies on the Indus script from the finding of this paper. It may indicate a new direction for the Indus script research. Okay, I'm stopped here. As for the carving techniques of the Indus script used in the initial phase of the Harappan period, especially in the Ghaggar basin, so I will discuss it at another opportunity, like this. And please see my published paper too. I consider that it is an important approach to discuss the cover of Indus script for the better understanding of the organization of the seal covers and the context of Indus writing system in the Harappan civilization. Okay, Bapu Dhanyawad. Thank you so much.